Welcome to the Fit Mama podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and Fit Mama health coach, Angela Campbell.
Fat loss versus weight loss, what is the difference? I'm going to talk a lot about that today, share some tips, share some things that you can look for. Today's episode, I'm even going to answer the question, does muscle weigh more than fat? I hear this a lot. I used to say it as well. But if you're on right now and you can actually answer, what is your answer? Does muscle really weigh more than fat? We're going to talk about that. What is the difference in fat loss versus weight loss? How do you really lose fat? Can you lose both at the same time? Can you lose weight and fat at the same time? I hear this a lot as well. A misconception of a lot of people with all the confusion in the world, because there is so much. I've heard a lot of people tell me, I got to lose the weight first before I can lose the fat, before I can build the muscle. Like, that's not necessarily the case. You can do both at the same time. I'll answer that question right away. And also I have some signs that I'm going to share with you today. Like, what are some signs that you can look for to know, like, am I losing muscle? Am I losing fat? Am I just losing water weight? Like, what's going on with my body here, right? So if you're on a fat loss or weight loss journey and you're watching this live stream, drop in the comments, what is your journey? Is it weight loss, or are going through my program? Like, weight is not an issue. They're not trying to lose weight. They want to lose fat. They want to tone. They want to lean up. They want to have muscle definition, right? This is what it means by losing fat, right? And if you're also catching this now or later on the replay and you're struggling, you're lost, you've tried everything in the world, you know you need help, set up a free call with me. I'd love to chat with you. And if I can't necessarily help you, I can at least provide some free resources that can maybe at least get you off on the right track, right? But if you're tired of failing, set up a call and let's just chat about it, right? The link is above if you're watching live stream, or you can go to my website. It's acfitmama.com/chat, or Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called the Fit Mompreneur, designed to help busy women and busy moms lose fat. This is what we do every single day. I love helping busy women and busy moms because we have so many hats, literally wearing so many hats that we very seldom make time for ourselves, but there is a way and you can do it. But if you're not in our group, same thing, acfitmama.com/Facebook, and get in there, join us, right? So let's talk about it. But first, I want to give some shout outs because there's some women in our programs right now that are just doing phenomenal. And everybody deserves a shout out and a kudos, no matter how big or how small their win is, right? So before we get into it, hang tight with me. The shout outs, okay? If you're watching this and you're able to comment, put welcome in the comments. Nancy Self, and both of these women, literally, Nancy started this week, Brittany's starting next week. But literally just committed to themselves to go through our 12-week program to help them become that version of themselves that they want, which is one big factor is about losing the fat, you guys. So again, welcome Nancy, welcome Brittany, show them some love in the comments. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to all the women. We have 13 women right now going through our 11-day detox programs. And then tomorrow inside our group, it's going to be all about celebrating your wins. And remember, no matter how big your wins are, no matter how small your wins are, it is all a win. And so super kudos to all of you guys in the detox program. We're going to hop on the Zoom call after this. So I'm excited. And then also I have to give a shout out to two amazing women that are in the programs. Marnie Flynn, you're doing amazing. I love seeing all the habits and the changes that you're making in your routine. Already down 3 pounds and just getting into week 3 this week, already down 3 pounds, making lifestyle changes, which is phenomenal. And what this is all about. And then Chrissy Eason, 6 pounds. Girls, looking at your numbers, you're doing phenomenal. I'm super excited for you. 6 pounds, and then we're as well. So phenomenal job, ladies. Give them some love in the comments, you guys, and know that there's a way. If these women are doing it, then so can you. I promise. It's a matter of having someone help you and borrow their belief if you don't believe you can do it yourself, right? I think that's a really big thing. So let's get into fat loss and weight loss. I really want to dive into this today because this is a common topic that I talk to women one-on-one all the time, in groups, you name it. We talk about it all the time in our Facebook group. I mean, our Facebook group is designed to help busy women and busy moms find ways to lose belly fat especially, because that's tend to where a lot of it. But here's I want to start by answering the question, does muscle weigh more than fat? Not at all, you guys. I want to really, like, I remember hearing that a lot in my younger years before I really got into the fitness industry. Muscle and fat, you guys, you got 5 pounds of muscle and you got 5 pounds of fat, they weigh the same. Their weight is the same. It's how much space they take up, you guys. If you've never seen the images of 250-pound women and how different they look, I want you to visualize that for a second, right? Because somebody can have a lot fast because they've been eating clean and getting their protein in and working out with some weights and doing all the right things. And then you have someone else at the same exact weight that looks totally different because their body fat may be a lot higher for all kinds of different reasons, right? So 5 pounds of muscle weighs the same as 5 pounds of fat, you guys. It just takes up different space, right? And that is why you can look so different. But the only way to lose fat, I'm going to give you two words, because losing weight sometimes the scale can change obviously a lot faster than a second. But the only way to lose fat is with consistency and patience, because I promise losing fat is so doable. But it's a combination of things. You can't just do one thing and hope the fat melts away, overnight, especially, because it doesn't happen that way. You cannot gain weight overnight. So when your scale goes up overnight, it's not because you gained all this fat overnight because of one meal. There's so many other factors because of that. So always remember that. If you're someone who gets upset when the scale goes up, it's not fat. You can't gain it overnight. You can't lose it overnight, right? So it's consistency and patience. And I know those are two words that are like the hardest. Which one do you struggle with most? If you're watching this right now, tell me, do you struggle more with being consistent on all the things, or do you struggle more with being patient? Okay, so if you struggle with this, no, you're not alone. But the only way to truly lose fat, get that fit you want, all these things, it's consistency and patience, and then some dedication, you guys, and some hard work, right? You don't gain it overnight. I already said that, but so you can't gain it overnight and you can't lose it overnight. Okay. Weight loss. Weight loss is this. You guys, weight loss is a decrease in your overall body weight. So I want you to think of weight when you're checking the scale. And this is why I preach about the scale all the time, but it is not what defines you. Nothing defines you except for how you feel about yourself on the inside. And this journey is a mental journey, not just about how we look on the outside. Right. And so weight loss is more of a decrease of your overall body weight. So when that scale changes, there's so many factors that you're not doing, like not eating. If you skip meals and you don't eat enough, I guarantee if your scale's dropping, you very likely could be losing water weight and you could be losing muscle. You're not gaining muscle if you're not eating enough food. I guarantee. So the weight loss itself is more of a decrease of everything, a decrease in your overall body weight, which consists of fat and consists of water weight. Okay, if you go from not doing anything and you jump on a routine, it's a lot of water, you get rid of Cokes, you get rid of wine every single night, you get, rid of all these things, and then you start getting on good habits, the scale typically for most women drops fairly quick first. And a lot of times you don't lose all that body fat right away. A lot of times that's water weight happening. Okay, so remember, water is your friend. The more you drink, the less you hold. If your scale goes up like crazy, a lot of times it can be water weight. How much water are you drinking? If you struggle with drinking water, drop water in the comments. It's a big thing, right? So again, weight loss is losing everything. It's not necessarily fat. Just because the scale goes down, it doesn't mean you're losing fat, you guys. And sometimes, losing water weight, I don't like the word useless. It's not necessarily useless because water weight can come and go overnight. Water weight can come and go overnight based on what you ate. Your body absorbs more water when you eat more carbs. Is that a bad thing? Not at all, because you need carbs. And with me, I'm going to have you eating carbs. If you want to not eat carbs, I'm not your girl. I'll just put that out there. I want you to eat carbs. And if you want to build muscle, you want to feel better, you want your mind, I'm going to have carbs in your routine. But it's going to be clean carbs and throughout the day. But, losing water weight that changes every day based on how much water and how much sodium you eat, how many times did you eat out, how much water did you drink or not drink. You hold water weight when you don't drink water. You actually hold water weight. Okay. Losing muscle, guys, losing muscle weight can be harmful. Like this is not if you want to tone, you don't want to lose muscle. I haven't had anybody ever come to me and say, you know what, my goal is I want to lose all this muscle. I don't want this muscle I got that I worked my tail off to have, right? Now, granted, there's some scenarios, like I've actually been in a journey years ago, when I was doing I was training alongside a male, and I was trying to do all the things he was doing. Well, guess what? I naturally put on weight, not weight, well, weight, yes, but muscle, semi-fast. I was training crazy heavy. I was eating like a man. And let me tell you, I put on too much and I had to restructure everything I was doing. And it took a lot of time to get rid of it. I wanted to use that as an example. Can that be possible? Sure. But the women in my group and the women that I typically talk to, they don't come to me and say, I want to lose all this muscle that I worked my tail off to gain, right? But if we want to lose weight faster, okay, if you are on a journey of wanting to lose weight, then you also have to think of, I need the more lean muscle that you have. But in order to create this, you have to eat. You have to eat, you guys. If you're on a weight journey and you want to lose belly fat, you want to tone up, you cannot starve yourself. I'll just tell you this right now. If you want those goals and you're starving yourself, it is not going to happen. Okay. But if you build that lean muscle, okay, it's going to help you reduce that body fat. Okay. If you're trying to lose body fat, think of building lean muscle. And the only way to do that is to eat enough food, make sure you're getting your protein in, and make sure you're lifting some weights. You have to do resistance training. If you want to, and you don't have to go heavy, crazy, and bulky like I was back in the day whenever I was doing it all wrong. If you want to tone up and one of your goals is tone, then you're going to have to put some work into some resistance. Don't think tone, I'm going to go run 5 miles every single day and not lift a single weight, but I'm going to use hard cardio, like extraneous cardio that takes a lot of time. Again, that's not going to build muscle. Action, and especially if you're not eating enough, you're going to be wasting away muscle. Than the opposite, right? So I know it can be so confusing and be like, I don't know what to do. Reach out to me and I'll definitely help you figure it out, right? But it's very, very common. If you gain 6 pounds of muscle and you drop 6 pounds of fat, just think about it. Your weight might stay the exact same, but you will be dumbfounded and surprised at how much your body will change. Elizabeth Beeson is a perfect example right now of a woman that's going through our program, and this is her. Like, she is doing amazing. We upped her food from what she was doing before. She's eating a lot more, and she is a busy mom who's traveling all the time and on the work. She's working out. She's doing all the things we've asked her to do. She's eating right. Now she's getting in a lifestyle where she knows she needs to eat more. She's feeling good. And the scale dropped a little bit at first, but now that part's maintaining, and her body changes in pictures is phenomenal. And so you can gain, your scale might not be moving, ladies. And if you're actually putting in these things where you're working out and you're eating clean or you're eating better, then you very likely could be losing fat. I want you to pay attention to your clothes. I want you to take pictures. If you struggle taking pictures, put the word pictures in the comments with the sad face emoji in there. That this is a struggle for a lot of women. I know a lot of women have no desire to take a picture. When I ask them to take pictures, sometimes it's like, I have to ask 5 times, can you please take a picture for me? Please, 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 please. I promise you may hate it right now, but in the future, whenever I can show you in a picture what changes your body is making because the scale won't show it, you're going to say, thank you so much for making me take a picture, right? So pictures are what? Pictures in your clothes will share more of the fact that you're losing body fat than the scale will, because your scale might not be changing, you guys, but you're working your tail off and you're working hard. Lots of other things, right? But here's the thing: when you are just totally cutting your calories way low, like extremely low. Like I've had some women come to me, they're like 500-600 calories a day is all I'm eating, and I'm working out, and I'm doing this. You're not building muscle, I promise. You're not going to lose fat. You are losing muscle. You're getting rid of your muscle that you work so hard. So I want to encourage you not to do that, right? But you will lose weight. You can lose weight by solely focusing on cutting your calories. I'm never going to have you on a starvation diet that is just crazy low calories. I don't believe in them. I don't feel like they're sustainable, and they're sure as heck ain't fun. But if you want to lose fat, you want to lose body fat. You want to tone. If your goals have ever said, I want to tone, I want to see muscle definition, I want to have a flatter stomach, I want to get rid of the muffin top that hangs over my pants, right? And you want to lose body fat, okay? You can't only focus on reducing your calories, because that alone will cause you to lose muscle, okay? So I really want to drive that one home. Because if your goal is to tone, you cannot not be starving yourself. Here's the other thing: is too much cardio and not enough strength training. Again, these are things that will lead you to losing muscle and maybe weight. Okay. Again, for us to lose fat, we have to build the muscle. And the only way to build the muscle is with resistance training. This can be dumbbells. This can be body weight stuff, you guys. You don't have to go big, bulky. It's going to take a lot of bulky. And that's not, I don't know anybody in my group that wants to do that. Nor will I ever lead you in that direction, I promise. But know this, if cardio is your jam and you love it, I'm not dissing cardio. There's a lot of benefits to it, a lot of all kinds of things, your mind. I still do. I have my own health coach. You guys, I coach women and I got my own health coach because I was like, I need somebody to lay it out for me. I need somebody to check on me. I need somebody to hold me accountable, right? And so I even asked, can I start running again? They're like, nope, sure can't. You really want to tone? You want to build muscle? No, I'm not going to have you go run yet. I'm like, okay, fine. So too much cardio, you guys, and not enough strength training will lead to muscle loss. So if you want to actually tone and actually see muscles or see abs, tell me in the comments which area of your body do you want to see the most change. You want to see more in the stomach? I talk to a lot of women. Do you want to see change in your stomach? Do you want to see change in your arms? Sometimes it's the back fat and our legs. Drop in the comments if you don't mind sharing where's the area that you would love to see the most change, where you want to see more tone, you want to lean up. Mine's always my butt and legs. That's where I gain quick overnight. That's the hardest place for me to lean out. But again, going back to the cardio, too much of it, you guys will lose muscle. And so there's such thing as the word skinny fat. Like you can lose and you can be skinny. That was actually me last year. I wasn't very healthy on the inside. I was skinny, sure, fit in my smalls again, but I was soft and mushy and was not happy with where I was. Because I had lost a lot of muscle because I was not eating and I wasn't resistance training enough and I was not sleeping. Sleeping is another thing. But without eating enough protein, drop protein in the comments. I want you to know that you're hearing me say this. Protein is your friend. Protein is something that is one of the I work on with women whenever we work through our coaching program, because I want you to understand the importance of protein. Protein does a lot of things. It's going to help your body recover from these resistance workouts. It's going to help you stay fuller longer, which is a positive thing. It helps speed up your metabolism, right? There's so many benefits. But again, if you are wanting to build muscle and you want to tone and you want to lose that body fat, you need some protein in your diet, you guys. Your body cannot rebuild the muscle and the tissue if you are not strength training and eating enough protein. They go hand in hand, you guys, hand in hand. So think, one of my biggest tips I'll tell you is protein in every meal, protein in every meal, protein in every meal, protein in every meal. I say this over all the time, every day, if you can't tell. It can be hard to get into the routine, but once you do, you're going to feel so much better. Look better, but you're going to feel so much better, right? So let's talk about water loss for a second. I want to talk about water weight loss. One of the fastest ways to lose weight in a short term is to cut your carbs. How many of you guys have ever cut your carbs? Cut carbs in the comments. Again, I'm going to say this. I'm never going to have you totally cut your carbs. I'm always going to have carbs in your routine. Always have protein in your routine, even healthy fats, right? I'm never going to have you totally cut out all your carbs, ever. I've done it before. It's the most miserable thing in the world. It's not sustainable. It's not fun. But if you want to lose weight because the scale is the biggest factor for you, then that's why when people drop their carbs, they cut out their carbs, they tend to drop faster. But that's because, like I said earlier in this podcast, that carbs actually retain 3 times as much water as any other of the macronutrients. So when you cut back on carbs, your body isn't retaining as much of the water. Okay, water weight. We don't really care about water weight. We can flush that out real quick by chugging a bunch of water, right? But if you do it for too long, then same thing. Your muscles feed off of carbs too, you guys. You need them if you want to tone and get muscle. You need some carbs in your diet. I remember whenever I started with my health coach, I wasn't eating enough protein because I fell off the bandwagon, just like a lot of people. We all do it. We're human. But we upped my protein back up, and then we upped my carbs a lot from where I was. I feel so much better though. I will say and I'm toning and leaning and seeing things that I haven't seen in a long time. But here's a couple signs. I mentioned that I was going to talk about some signs today that you're losing water and muscle, but not necessarily losing fat. I want to share with you, right? Or in some signs of all of it, really. But oftentimes when you're water weight, let's talk about water weight first. If you're starting a journey, okay, that's typically when every woman that I work with, not every, let's just say 85-90% of the women that I work with, when we start the journey, that initial first week, maybe 2 weeks, your scale usually drops quicker. You drop usually, I don't know, 3 to 6 pounds. Depends on the woman. Depends on how much they need to lose, right? But when you typically lose a lot of water weight when you get started, okay? But it's water weight, you guys. It's water weight. It's water weight. I'm going to say it again. It's water weight. And why do I want to drive this home with you? Because I see a lot of women, they get so excited because they lost that 3 to 6 pounds in that first week or two. And then the scale starts to slow down. It doesn't drop that fast. And then they give up because they think they suck and they're not seeing change and they're not doing as good as they thought they could. Guys, 6 pounds a week on a healthy regimen, losing 1 to 2 pounds. I know this sucks because it's like, why does it have to be so small? 1 to 2 pounds a week is a healthy average of weight for you to drop, and it's a very good sign of losing fat. Okay, again, it's not an overnight process. You have to have patience and you have to have consistency if you truly want to lose fat. And so losing 1 to 2 pounds, 1 to 2 pounds is a very healthy average. You guys, this is something you can actually make into a lifestyle, not this quick fix where I'm going to lose some weight just so I can fit into a dress and then gain it all back, a few months later, right? Nobody wants to do that. Not working out at all can also lead to muscle loss. I mentioned this already a little bit, but I feel like, there's so many components to getting to be that leaner version of you that you want. Okay. So if you want to build muscle though, and you actually want to tone, then you have to start working out. And I don't mean you have to spend hours upon hours in the gym. 99.9% of my women don't go to gyms. They work out at home. I work out at home and I have for 6 months. And I love it. But there's a way to do it at home. And I know working out at home isn't for everybody. I know some women, they're like, I just can't do it. I need to go to a gym. Whatever works for you, you got to figure that out, because weight training, resistance training of some kind, you don't have to go hardcore crazy and you don't have to go super heavy. You can even use resistance bands at home. You can use body weight at home. You guys push squats, lunges. These are all things that you can do at home without weights, you guys, and they're going to help you use your body weight as resistance. But not working out, you will lose muscle. You will slowly start to lose muscle, because if you're not constantly working at it, it's going to go away, right? And here's another one. If your scale is fluctuating like crazy, like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, one, you're very normal. No, that weight every day. It's just specific. And I'm going to show you guys at the end of my journey, because I want to show you the fluctuation and then at the end, the average, so you can see I'm consistently losing fat. But that scale, if I just relied on that every day, man, it would just drive you crazy, right? But if your scale is fluctuating in big amounts, and oftentimes, like 1 or 2 pounds, maybe 3 a day, that's normal. Our menstrual cycles, women, that's going to typically always affect our scale. How much water you're drinking is going to affect your scale. But if it is drastically changing, I want you to go back and log it, send it to me. I'll take a look at it. Right. But oftentimes, if you're making radical changes in your diet day by day, you're going to be losing muscle and more so water weight, but you're not going to be losing fat as much. And here's why: because your body needs consistency just as much as anything else. If you're going from 0 carbs and like 500 calories one day to 2,000 calories the next day and 200 carbs, and that's what I mean by radical changes and drastic. So if it's a constant up and down series of, oh my gosh, I'm over here and I'm eating drive-through 3 times, or I'm just this, and not necessarily eating bad, it can just be literally not enough of, or 0 carbs one day, 200 the next, and then 50 this day and 300 the next, and so you've got to get consistency with your diet. It doesn't have to be perfect. I would rather you eat a like 70% of your diet being clean, but you're consistent with it, versus being super clean 100% and then fall off the bandwagon, and then super clean and then you fall off the bandwagon. That's where your body's going to get super confused, won't know what to do, and it's not going to be very efficient. You're not going to lose fat. And then obviously your clothes is a big factor. Your clothes are always going to tell you the truth. Okay, your clothes are really good. Some of the biggest wins of the women in my program is like, you know what? There's one lady, Echo Hill. If you know Echo, drop Echo in the comments and give her some love, because she's a phenomenal woman. She's such an inspiring lady for other women. She's also amazing in her own journey. She went through my 12-week program. Now we're doing more together with her workouts, and she's in a size that she hasn't fit into since we've seen her son. I don't know what age, 1st grade, 2nd grade. So that's it's the clothes. Or even Melissa Aaron, if you're watching this, same thing. You remember you telling me you fit in a pair of jeans you haven't fit into in 8 months. Guys, that's a win. So your clothes, if they start fitting better, but that scale isn't changing, who cares? Feel, because that means you're losing body fat, right? If they're starting to get looser. And then here's the last thing I'm gonna close on here. If you guys have more questions, like drop them in the comments. If I don't get to them right now live, because I know I'm on a little bit of a delay, I'll hop in the group and definitely answer. But some of the things I want you to consider when you're trying to work on a routine. If you're struggling right now and you're like, I got to fix my diet, I got to fix my workout plan, I need to do all kinds of things, but I don't know where to start. This is where I want you to ask yourself first, before you jump on the bandwagon for any of the fad diets out there, you guys. And I've actually been screenshotting the text messages I've been getting from all the spammy stuff. I'm sure you guys are getting it too. I had one yesterday that told me that I could go from a size 3X to a size small in 1 month. Like, really? Like, at least make it realistic. That's not realistic. It sure as heck isn't healthy. But they're going to be coming at you like crazy right now with the holidays coming up closer, so be prepared. But I want you to ask yourself these things. If you're starting or you're considering a fad diet, or you're considering this plan, or you're considering whatever it is, there's a lot of really great diets out there, you guys, right now. I'm not knocking any of them because a lot of them work. But I want you to ask yourself, is it fun? Is this fun for me, or is it like crazy miserable to the point where I hate life when I'm doing this diet? Like, if you're hating life, that's not going to be sustainable. So why even start? Don't even start there. Okay. So do you like it? Is it fun? Is it sustainable? Is this something that I could see myself doing for long term? Like going to zero carbs all the time. Can you hold that long term? I'm going to tell you absolutely not. Please don't do that. I've seen people actually do damage to their body by doing that for a really long period of time. Like back in competition days. Like, it's not healthy. So ask yourself, is it fun? Is it something I can sustain? Is it something that's going to affect my personal life? Like my social, like, because I'm on this crazy diet, I don't want to go out with my friends because then I'm going to be too tempted, or I can't even go out with my kids or go to my kids, birthday party or whatever it is, because I'm going to be around this food that I'm not supposed to be eating. That's what I mean. But if it's going to affect your social life, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. There is a way to make it a lifestyle change where you can enjoy all those things and think moderation, not restriction. That's what I teach the women is give yourself kudos. Don't beat yourself up for one bad meal or because you ate Oreo with kids. Like, who cares? Moderation, not restriction. If you want to lose fat, I'll leave it at this. If you want to lose fat and you want to tone and you want to lose some weight on the scale, obviously that is a very common thing. You got to make sure that you're eating enough protein. You got to get your resistance training in. Please do not rely only on running and only on cardio. You cannot build muscle that way. You're going to end up burning through muscle. And you've got to be consistent. You have to see pictures. You got to see what is happening in your body, and not relying only on that scale. Right. So that's all I got today, you guys. Again, if you got more questions, drop them below or reach out to me privately. And again, if you're tired of trying to figure it out on your own, if you're tired of failing, things aren't working, set up a time. My link is above, or just go to acfitmama.com/chat and just pick a time that works best for you. We'll get on a call. We'll talk together. And that's all I got. So every Thursday, 11 o'clock Central, I go live right here inside the group. And then this very episode will also be uploaded to my podcast, which you can find on Apple, and you can listen to the replays there as well too. So that's it. That's all I got. Thank you all for listening to me today, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, you guys.